another world. No, I'm not talking about Mars. Actually, I'm talking about the USA, which, if you think about it, it may not be the first thing that comes to mind when I say another world. But if you think about it, we're kind of a weird country. Think about some of the things you'll find here in the summer. Well, what you could have found in the summer this summer. You could have gone and seen a woman standing there clutching a book and a torch. A bell that's loved because of its crack. And then you could find a camp full of ABCs, or American-born Chinese students, here at George Mason, ready to give the American experience to Chinese kids. You can find me in one of those places. I'll give you a hint. It wasn't with the Statue of Liberty or the Broken Bell. I was here with a lot of other American-born Chinese students, trying to give the American experience. I mean, look at me. I'm not exactly the blonde, tall, giggly American girl. But, one thing that I do have that's American is my personality, my audacious personality. And if you think of what I learned this summer, one of the biggest lessons I learned this summer was that differences, that's what you focus the most on. If you think about it, oh my gosh, Chinese kids are coming. What are we going to do? We have to show them what America is. But wait, what is America? I mean, if you think it over, the first thing that came to mind, was food. And then, of course, since we were hosting students, shopping, because I'm a girl, what can I say? And then, last of all, there was also the fact that we actually had to learn, they actually had to learn at this camp. Learn to give speeches, how to get the audience to focus on their lectures. So here is the story of a week of my summer. So the first problem, definitely, what should we give them to eat? Because, me at home, I have my bowl and my chopsticks and I'm eating away at my rice. That's not really American food. American food is those big hamburgers that are the size. Well, now apparently they have 2 patties and that's what makes a normal burger. You learn things every day. So you have their big hamburgers that stuff in your mouth until your stomach is the size of Antarctica. But, of course, that's somewhat stereotypical. And then, of course, one of the favorite American foods now, Chipotle. My sister jumped. That was the first thing she thought of when we were talking about food. But wait, Chipotle, isn't that Mexican food? Well, yes, and in the end, apparently Chinese students do not in fact like Chipotle. We ended up going to Panera Bread, and I like that place. It's pretty tasty. So that week, we were very, very focused on not eating Chinese food. Although we ate Chinese food every day at camp. So, it balances out somehow. So in the mornings, we would try things like omelets, which didn't end up very well because we weren't used to making the omelets every day. And we ended up having a really, really large one that the Chinese kids kind of picked at and picked at and picked at. And then we felt bad for making them eat so much. Then we tried pancakes and also muffins, and, well, that was okay. Mornings could have turned out better, but of course they did find some food they like, Nutella. What person from what country wouldn't like a chocolate sauce? Just in a container, just chocolate and hazelnut, sweet and tasty. But for the record, I don't actually like Nutella. So we were actually only supposed to be responsible for breakfast, but our kids, the 2 girls that stayed with us, Amy and Candy, sometimes they'd get really excited. They want to go eat. They wanted to go eat out. They wanted to go shopping. Shopping, we did a lot of very fun stories. So we ended up, so when we would go shopping, we would go to the malls. We went to Potomac Mills and Tyson's. So in between our running from store to store trying to get the best deals on all of the American name brands, Adidas, Coach, Juicy, and all of the rest of those names, we also went to restaurants waiting in lines, and lines of people just standing there because we would get out of camp and it was lunchtime. So at least we worked off all the food when we went shopping, because every store we went to, one of the girls staying with us, Amy, she got very excited. She would run into every store. Ooh, these shoes. Whoa, this clothes, so cute. So sexy. And my sister would have her arm locked around her. She's like, come on, Amy, we need to go to this store and that store, because she wanted to buy all of the American brands. And then, so that was our shopping trips a lot of the time. Great exercise. And after a long day of shopping, of course, we'd go home and write our speeches. Of course, China does, as is known by the public, they're not as focused on this public speaking and all of these liberal arts and everything as much as math and physics and chemistry. So, of course, all of these things that we've grown up being told, stand up straight when talking to an audience, face your audience, look at everyone in the audience, make sure you're not hunched over, reading your notes, drumming your fingers, moving around. It was new to them. And it was interesting helping them with their speeches, especially since they were in the English class where they had to speak English, and showing them how Google Translate is really not the answer. So that's a good sum up of my summer. We did a lot of eating, shopping, and somewhat forceful speech writing, you know. Whether they do it on their own or we make them do it, that's not the point. The point is that we had a great summer together, and no matter what country you're from, even though they came over here and it was somewhat like an other world, but if you think about it, since they lived in the city, not really. Either way, whether we're Chinese or American, whether we're born here or China, or our hair's black or blonde, we're all teenagers looking to have a great time shopping, eating, learning. Thank you.
So I thought that it was actually very informative, and I loved your introduction with what is America and all of those questions. Also, you had really good vocal variety throughout your speech, and you also used a lot of body language, which I thought was good because you got out from behind the podium and it connected the audience a lot more with your speech. One thing that you probably could have improved on was you could have made it a little bit more organized and more about the program, like what you took from it, what you gave to it. You did have a lot of really great anecdotes, though, which I thought really helped improve your speech and made it more personal. So that was really good. Congratulations on that. And then I like your speaking because you're always so enthusiastic about it, and you really put yourself out there, and you're just really involved with the speech. So I thought that was really great, and good job on that. So then